Alright everyone, welcome back. So in this part we will talk about obligation models, alright? So obligation models means necessity models, or it is necessary to do something. So obligation means necessary, needed. You have to do it, you must do it. So the most basic models for this purpose is must and have to. They express necessity and obligation. Now, there's a small difference between these two. Must usually suggests that the speaker himself or the speaker herself has decided that something is necessary. So must is a little bit personal, all right? So I must read more books on personal finances. It is necessary for me to do it. Or, you must tell me the truth if you want me to trust you. So again, here, necessity is from us. Yes, I am saying you here, but still the necessity comes from you or the person. All right? Now, have to, on the other hand, it usually suggests that somebody else, a rule, a law maybe, has decided for you that something is necessary. So have to is usually from outside. It's not personal. All right? So, a police officer has to wear a uniform. A police officer has to wear a uniform. Why is it has to? Because have to is used as a tense or like a tense. For this reason, it becomes has to. All right? Or, you have to bring your child to school before 8:30. So this is a rule. Okay, a rule of the school. Or a police officer has to wear a uniform. Again, it's the law, all right? They have to do it. So as you see, must and have to, they have a small difference. But for most of the time, for speakers, must and have to are pretty much the same, and they can be used interchangeably without any difference in meaning. So, you have to bring your child to school before 8:30, or you must bring your child to school before 8:30. Both of them are perfectly fine, actually. All right? Now, I have a beautiful quote for you from Plato, actually. Plato. It should be Plato, I think. Anyway, wise men speak because they have something to say. Fools speak because they have to say something. Very beautiful play with words. They have something. Wise men, clever men speak because they have something to say. Fools speak because they just have to say something. This is beautiful. I love it. Very good play with the words. So here, yes, you see how have to say is used here. All right. So let's continue with have to, everyone. So have to, like I said earlier, can be combined with many tenses, and it can be used in the past or in the present form. All right. So the teacher has to speak rather loudly in our crowded classroom. So here, has to is in present form. You are talking about a general necessity in this sentence. Our teacher always has to speak loudly. But if you look at the past form, I had to, in the past, I had to spare more time than I expected for my research. So this is the past form. Future form, the government in the future will have to spend an enormous amount of money for this project. Okay? And this is the most beautiful one. Present perfect and have to. I have had to suffer all the negative consequences by myself in this business. So here, why do we have present perfect tense? Because I am still in this business. I still have this business, but from the past till today, I have had to suffer all the negative consequences, all the negative results by myself. Very beautiful use of tense, present perfect tense. Why had to? Why do we have had to here? Because it's verb 3 form, okay? So it's possible to use have to with tenses and in the past and present form, all right? So we will go more into detail with had to, have to, had to, didn't have to, all right? So now we are going to talk about the past form of have to. So had to and didn't have to. Now, in the past form, have to becomes had to. It was necessary for me to do something, so I did it. But didn't have to means it was not necessary for me to do something, so I didn't do it. Okay? Very simple, very easy. Our boss wanted us in the office on Sunday, so I had to go to my workplace yesterday. So I went, it says here, I went to my workplace because it was necessary, it was needed, it was obligated. Okay? I had to go in the past. Check this one out. It was Sunday yesterday, so it was Sunday yesterday, it was holiday. So I didn't have to wake up early. I didn't have to wake up early because it was not necessary. I just slept, okay? So, positive and negative form. Now, interesting thing here is didn't have to and didn't need to are exactly the same. And they mean it was not necessary for me to do something, so I didn't do it. We worked with a catering firm for the wedding, so we didn't have to do the cooking. All right, so we didn't have to do the cooking. It's the same as we worked with a catering firm, so we didn't need to do the cooking. We didn't need to do. All right, so they are the same. But very interestingly again, there's a huge difference, there's a big difference between don't have to and mustn't. So in positive form, don't have to and mustn't are the same, okay, or very similar. There's a very little small difference. But in negative form, don't have to and mustn't are not the same, okay? They are completely different. So what is the difference, everyone? Don't have to shows or expresses that it's not necessary to do something. So don't have to says it's not necessary. It's not necessary. Don't do it, okay? Or maybe if you want, you can do it, or maybe you don't want to do it, you don't do it. But mustn't means it is not advised, or it is not allowed to do something. So, don't have to shows lack of necessity, lack of obligation. But mustn't shows or expresses warning, prohibition. So, what does that mean, everyone? I have a couple of very fine examples for you. You don't have to spend vast amounts of money to start a small business. You don't have to spend. It's not necessary, okay? If you want to start a small business, you can start with a small money. You don't have to spend a lot of money. So this is lack of necessity. It's not necessary, all right? But look at this one. You mustn't play with the data in your study to find the results that you want. So you mustn't play with the data in your study means playing with the data, it's not advisable. It is wrong. It is prohibited by law, all right? But you don't have to means, it's not necessary. You want to do it, you do it. You don't want to do it, you don't do it. That's it, okay? So there's a very big difference between these two, everyone. In the exercises, there are so many examples with these two. Please check them out, everyone, all right? Again, mustn't and cannot, all right? Mustn't and cannot, in terms of prohibition, warning, they are the same, all right? In order to warn about something, in order to show that it's not allowed by law, we can use mustn't and cannot. So, we use mustn't and cannot for prohibitions, to say that it's not advisable, or it is wrong, or it is prohibited by law. Okay, it's against the law. So, you mustn't drink alcohol before an important meeting, all right? It's not advisable. It is wrong, all right? So, or you cannot, you cannot is a little stronger, of course. You cannot drink alcohol before an important meeting. It's stronger. Another example, you mustn't drive a car without a license, or you cannot drive a car without a license. Now, like I said, cannot is a little bit more, a little bit stronger. So in the first sentence, personally, I would use mustn't. Okay, so there's a small difference actually between these two. So you mustn't drink alcohol. It's wrong. It's not advisable. But for the second one, I would say you cannot drive because it is prohibited by law. It's very strong, okay? All right, so if it's clear, everyone, oh yes, so we talked about, in this short lesson, we talked about obligation models, all right? So we have some exercises here on permission and request models and obligation models. So after the exercises, we will be back here for advice models, everyone. See you after the exercises.